again with the OwenBloggers, here interviewing Neal Keny-Guyer, who is at the Net Impact Conference 2007. He is with the Mercy Corp. Neal, I wanted to thank you for coming today, and I wanted to hear why the Mercy Corp is involved in Net Impact, and a little bit about your background.
Great. Well, let me tell you, I'm delighted to be here. Tennessee is my home state, and I haven't been here since high school, and I won't tell you how long ago that was. But it's great to be back in Tennessee, and it's especially great to be at NetAid. Mercy Corps is here because we strongly believe that one of the missing ingredients of taking on some of the world's toughest social challenges is social entrepreneurship and social innovation. And NetAid is all about that. So we're here to learn and hopefully contribute a few thoughts of our own.
Great, and we're excited to have groups like yours here. Tell us a little bit more about what Mercy Corps does in specific.
Well, Mercy Corps is an international humanitarian relief and development organization. Most people have heard of us because of our work in the Darfurs and the tsunamis and the major conflicts and catastrophes of the world. But actually about 85% of our work is looking at long-term solutions to the underlying issues of injustice, suffering, and conflict. And so we work in 38 countries around the world. We've got about 3,600 team members, staff on a payroll, vast majority of whom are from the countries where we work. And we our mission is to work with individuals and communities to bring about secure, just, and productive communities.
Good work, I'm sure. Can you tell us, over the last year, I read that you raised over $200 million. How are you good stewards of that money, and how do you ensure that it goes to the people that you're intending to help and not extra things like overhead and corporate jets and things like that?
Well, there have been times when I'm on an airplane every week for 20 straight weeks that I wish we had the corporate jet. But, you know, seriously, one of the most important responsibilities we have is good stewardship. There are an awful lot of folks who dig deep in their pockets and give us the resources that we need to complete the mission, and we need to honor that, you know, first and foremost. So for us, you know, we apply principles of business. We're looking for efficiency ratios. We take overhead seriously. We're very proud of the fact that for the last 5 years in a row, we've had more than 90% of donated resources go straight to programs. That's a record, I think, that we can put up against any other full-service international relief and development organization. Secondly, and perhaps equally importantly, we've put in place monitoring and evaluation systems. It's not only important to spend the money well, but it's important to document impact and to really capture lessons learned, because it's through capturing lessons learned that you get better. You know, in the private sector, they talk about continuous improvement, continuous learning. We need to figure out in the work that we do what works, what doesn't work, and why, and that's part of our effort to get better. So we're proud to be known as good stewards and to receive this top rating by all the charitable watchdog organizations.
Yeah, and that level of transparency is evident. They've got their rating done by a third party available on their website at Mercy Corp if you want to check it out. You mentioned all the work that you do overseas, and you also mentioned how a group of Oregon folks went down to New Orleans to help after the Katrina catastrophe. How should U.S. citizens who've been given so much but yet live near poverty think about balancing our responsibilities here at home with the responsibilities we have to the greater world community?
Now that's a great question, and you know, for me it's kind of spiritual, and I'll tell you what I mean is that, you know, I really think that there is a seamless web of compassion that connects a homeless child in this country and Nashville and New Orleans and so many pockets of poverty around this country, you know, with a hurting child overseas, whether it's in Afghanistan or Sudan or any number of other places. And to the degree that we all recognize that seamless web, take time to build better communities at home and take time to support efforts we care about overseas, to that degree I think we've got a much better chance of building a better America and a better world. So I think fundamentally that if you recognize the seamless web of compassion, you'll be motivated to help here and help abroad at the same time, and you'll see no contradiction between the two.
Great. Lastly, can you tell us what would be your advice to aspiring social entrepreneurs? Many of us are MBA students here who want to make an impact but also want to find a profitable and sustainable way to do that. What would be your advice to us as we move forward in our careers?
Well, you know, first and foremost, particularly if you want to be a social entrepreneur, I say be prepared to take risks. You know, follow your passions. I mean, you're going to work, whatever you do, you're going to work 40-plus hour weeks, and so far better that you're passionate about that. Number two, be persistent. You know, an entrepreneur, whether in the for-profit world, motivated by profit or motivated by the creative impulse, or a social entrepreneur, has got to be prepared to take risks. There are going to be roadblocks along the way, and you want to pick yourself up 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but keep the momentum forward. And then finally, you know, be humble. And what I say by that is that, you know, humility in terms of a social entrepreneurship says you're going to get your best wisdom from the folks for whom you exist. It's the beneficiaries in the communities. It's around the big issues, and in the for-profit world, you're going to get your best wisdom from your customers, and that requires a level of humility. So I think if you put passion, persistence, and humility together, you can do great things.
Great. Well, thanks, Neal. Appreciate those sound words of advice and your dedication to the cause of social entrepreneurism. And that's it. Neal Keny-Guyer with Mercy Corp here at Owen Graduate School of Management for 2007 Net Impact Conference. Thanks.